Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Bizzy. I hope you enjoyed today's story. And if you do, please subscribe. Here we go.
Episode 554. How are you guys? Welcome. It's Bizzy from Barcelona. By the time you hear this, I will be en route to Italy, Milan. We're flying to Milan. I've never been to Milan, but it's so exciting. Okay, guys, so how has it been? I haven't talked to you guys. Well, if you've been watching social media, you've been hearing me or watching me, I hope. And it has been an amazing trip. And, I'm just going to be honest, the beginning part, going to Madrid and the actual jet lag was a lot, I have to be honest. And it was hard. And especially for my husband, I don't know. He just didn't want to say, I'm not feeling great. I wish he had, but he didn't. And one day I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And he was like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm like, are you sure you're okay? And I don't know why he couldn't say, I'm just not feeling that great today. I'm really tired and my eyes are dry and I'm really not feeling great. And instead he was like, I'm fine. Finally, at the end, I will tell you that we did get to some honesty and some truthfulness, which was so good because I was like, what is wrong with you then? If you're fine, this is how you're acting when you're fine. And it was hard. I mean, Madrid was tough because, again, we were so tired and we didn't get the chance to bounce back. Let's face it, we're both older. I'm in my mid 50s. He's in his early 60s, and he just didn't bounce back right away. And it was hard for him to say, hey, can we just take it easy? So, we ended up, we had a good time in Madrid. It was there's a lot of Spaniards there. So it didn't, like the restaurants we would go to, there were lots of men hanging out together and lots of couples all over the place. And they all seemed to be locals. Not that there's anything wrong with that because there isn't, but it was different in that it felt kind of like New York in a weird way. Like you go to New York sometimes and you're like, especially when I've been in New York, because I know so many people who live there and it just seems like kind of like home rather than being in a foreign city. I don't know. It was kind of like that. It was, it was nice. It was fun, but it was not like, I don't know. Madrid has definitely more of I'm playing with my lighting, you guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see that I changed the lighting because I realized I'm not in my studio. I don't have my speaker. I don't have any of those things. But anyway, not to digress. So we ended up taking the train. Oh, and I wear an Oura ring, by the way. So I read my Oura ring, and my Oura ring was like, my stress level was like really, really high. I was like, why is it so high? I don't feel that stressed. But I think the exhaustion, the fact that he was exhausted, I was exhausted, we were kind of like nipping at each other, which wasn't fun. And it took a couple of days to get in the rhythm of being here in Europe and being 6 hours ahead. So I gave us some grace because of that, but it was hard. I'm not going to lie. It was hard and we bickered and it wasn't fun. So then it ended up, we took the train on Sunday. There was a race going on in Madrid, so like a lot of roads were closed, but we ended up getting to the train and we figured it out. We have like 4 pieces of luggage, which you can see if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see one of my smallest suitcase sitting behind me. And so we got to the train, and again, we had 4 pieces of luggage. Everybody is talking about the pickpocketing that's going on here. So, you just for me at least, I stayed on really high alert and just watching. Being sober, of course, helps all that, by the way. Being sober has been, obviously, it's like a game changer when it comes to life, because the reality is you don't have to worry about oh my gosh, is somebody taking, I'm awake, I'm making decisions, I'm alert, I'm aware of what's going on around me. So everything, I keep my bags really close to in my front, and my husband keeps all this stuff. John keeps his stuff all in his pockets in the front, nothing in the back, everything's in the front. So that has been helpful too. But again, you still have this edge feeling because I don't know. Everybody here is like, well, America's really dangerous, isn't it? And I'm like, well, we don't have pickpocketers. I guess we have other things. There's a lot of animosity in the world in America, not where I live. I think I live in fairy tale land. Not only is it the home of Disney World, but Florida's just very, I don't know. It's because everybody has a gun. I don't know, but there's a reason for it. But um, there is definitely a sense here that there's people that everybody's like, watch out, because the people that are going to pickpocket you are going to look nice, and they don't look like somebody who would come in. And not that I would think anybody would look bad or good, but whatever. You just are on alert here. You're just like, I have to be aware of where my phone is, what's around me, and just be smart. So we've been really smart. So we made the train, which was really fun. And then we went from Madrid to Barcelona, and the train ride was fast. It's like a 5.5 hour drive, I think, but it took like 2.5 hours to take the train. And it was so relaxing. I love taking trains in Europe. I don't know why, but I do. It's just relaxing, and you can look out the window and see the countryside, and it's just beautiful. So we did that, and it was just really, really, really nice. And I just looked up the window, and it's kind of like America when you're on the train, and there's so many places that are so rural. There's nothing there but farmland, and you're like on the train, you're choo-chooing around, and you're like, wow, there's so much empty space here, and it's so much older here. And I do realize that with the EU, I watch Clarkson's Farm. I don't know if any of you guys watch that. It's on it's on Prime Video, and it's Jeremy Clarkson, who is a car guy, and he has a farm and all of his trials and tribulations with farming. And because of that, I've learned so much about how many regulations there are in the EU and how many farmers. We saw a lot of farms, but we didn't see anybody actually working farms, maybe because it was Sunday when we traveled, but nobody was doing their farming. But beautiful, beautiful. And my Aura Ring was very happy that day. I can tell you that. My Aura Ring was like, oh, you're in relax mode. I'm like, thank you. I'm so happy. I'm not stressed right now. It was good. So we did that. One of my most favorite parts of traveling is going into churches, because I just think the churches in Europe are absolutely stunning. And Mary is everywhere. And I don't know if any of you guys have been doing the Hallow Challenge. That's actually ending, I think, the end of this weekend. And it talks about how important Saint Joseph is, who was Jesus's father. So being in this mode that I'm in, and reflecting as I walk into these churches, and who's represented, what saints are there, and who's got more stuff going, like more gilding, and who's like a little more simple. And I can tell you, we went to some churches in Spain, in Madrid, that were very Picasso-y. I'm not a huge fan of Picasso, because it was like, oh my gosh, straight black lines, and I'm more of an impressionist person, so I'm not crazy about that. And one of the churches we went into, which is, I guess, the most famous church in Madrid, it was very like that. The artwork was very like the straight lines and that sort of thing, which was not my forte. But I will tell you one thing we did, which was kind of funny. We went into the Prado Museum in Madrid. We got in so early. We got in at 6 a.m. local time in Madrid, and we couldn't check into our hotel room, which I think a lot of us can't when we arrive in Europe, especially in those morning flights. And we have to recognize, like, what am I going to do? I'm going to get to my hotel. I'm not going to be able to get in my room. So we actually packed us in our small bags. We had a change of clothes. And so we did that. We changed our clothes, and we brushed our teeth and washed our faces, put on our moisturizer, and started the day like we never slept. I did sleep, though, by the way. I do want to say this. I did sleep on the plane from Miami to Madrid, because I took this sleep water. It was wonderful. It's based out of Miami, this company. I'm hoping to get somebody from the company on my show, but their stuff, it was a melatonin. I conked out like that, and I didn't feel like the next day, like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm hungover or tired. I just felt really great. But I still was tired. So we got to the Duomo, and we were able to get tickets, because we were there when prior to the doors opening. And we went in, and we were walking and walking and walking, and no one was there in the very beginning. And I can tell you, when you're in a museum and it's like 8 billion degrees outside, And you'd think I'd be used to that considering I live in South Florida where it's always hot. But we get into the museum and we're walking around, and I sat down to look at some art, and there's so many beautiful paintings in the Duomo of Mary and Jesus, and just so many um, paintings that replicated what it was like for Mary to have baby Jesus, and some of them he was young. There were some Aristotle paintings as well of some rulers from some kings and queens from Austria that were there too. But I love the Mary paintings and the Jesus paintings that were all over the Duomo. But I sat down and it was dark and it was quiet and it was cold and I was tired. And I looked at my husband and I said, if we don't get out of here, I'm going to take a nap on this bench in the Prado. And he just laughed and we went outside after an hour and a half inside of there. But it was beautiful. The paintings of Mary and oh my gosh, the depiction. Now we are not, I got to tell you guys this. There's so many people who go on cruises and go and like to do these tours with tour guides and everything else. My husband and I are not those people. We have learned that about each other from the traveling we've done in the past, and we do not like going with the pack. That's just not our thing. We don't like to, like, I remember when we were in, last year um, I'm having a brain, you know what? Where were we? I can't remember where we were. We were in Venice, and I of course, I was like, oh, we're going to go. And he had just arrived. I had already been here in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Medjugorje, and he met me in Rome. So he was on the jet lag thing, and I planned this entire day tour of Venice. And we were like, we met there, and there were all these people that were in this tour guide. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be fun. 10 minutes in, we looked at each other. We're like, we got to go. Beep, beep, beep. Reverse. Got to get out of there. So for us, knowing that about our travel schedule, we do not want to go. We want to go and look at things. And if we're interested, we'll go look at it up on our phones and say, oh, this is what this is. And then when we do that, amazing things happen because we just walk where we're supposed to walk. I've been to the churches here. We have not been able to go to the most famous grotto museum, church here at the cathedral. It's not finished yet. So I'm hoping we're going to come back in a year when it is finished, but we're going to drive by it tomorrow en route to the airport, which is Wednesday when your guys are going to be listening to this. So I did not get a chance to go see that, but we have gone, we were staying in a Relais Chateau. And we've stayed in them in Massachusetts and I think, where else did we stay in one? I think we've stayed in one in Florida. I think we stayed in one in Massachusetts. But anyway, we really like them. And so we're staying one, and the one we're staying here in Barcelona it's right next to the Cathedral Barcelona. Now, the Cathedral Barcelona is absolutely incredible. I mean, it is incredible. I will have pictures. If you went and you watched my Instagram, or if you watch me on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you watch me, you can see all these pictures. But the walls, it is so old here. I think I don't want to tell you the date of the year, and I don't have anything in front of me that tells me it. But it is the walls of the, here I have the Gothic Quarter. That's where we're staying, in the Gothic Quarter. And the Gothic, it has the cathedral, but I'm showing you guys a map if you're watching this. But here we go. So the walls are so thick and it's so amazing. And this hotel you can't get a cab here. You have to walk out to the street to get a cab because the streets are like this narrow. They're little. It's kind of reminding me of Venice. There's not water everywhere, but there are cars, but they're just not in this area. And there's shops everywhere. So we've been getting lost in all these places, but we first went in to the cathedral and we lit a candle and we went to mass. I couldn't understand it. I picked up my I have a Catholic Mass app, and I picked up what the actual readings were for Sunday. So we got to hear, but it was not the same because I didn't really understand. I really have to learn how to speak Spanish. If anybody's out there that knows how to speak Spanish and wants to teach Bizzy how to teach me Spanish, I would be so grateful. Let me know. So we went over and we went over and we went to the Barcelona Cathedral, and it was amazing. And just having again that peace. And that was our first night. And because we have stayed in many relais chateaus, they dropped off this bottle of wine. I'm showing you again this online. I'm sober Bizzy gets a bottle of wine delivered to her room. Isn't that funny? And so we get the bottle of wine, and she was like, "What are we going to do with it?" I'm like, "I don't know. We'll just tell them. I guess we're just going to leave it here. Maybe somebody at the door, maybe our doorman, who's been wonderful, Thomas, maybe we'll give it to him because he will enjoy it. We will not." And it was funny because we went to dinner our first night. We were like, we want to eat some authentic steak. So we went to the steakhouse, and I did a reel of this. I think it was on TikTok for sure. I don't know where else. But anyway, I do this reel, and these steaks are like huge. It would be like what you'd see at the butcher shop, but the entire refrigerator is lined with these humongous steaks. And so we get the steak. We have some artichokes. They had grilled edamame that was unbelievable. And at the end of dinner, they gave us these two shots. And I'm like, does it have alcohol in it? And I don't, again, think she didn't understand. And we didn't want to take our chances. We're like, we're not giving up our time for a little taste of whatever this dessert is. So we didn't, we skipped the little shot that was given. But oh my gosh, how crazy is that? That they like, again, people are so nice. They just think you need alcohol, but the reality is we don't. As sober people, we do not need alcohol to help us so that we can manage through the day. So the reality is we did not drink any of the alcohol that's been served to us. And we keep saying, we don't drink, we don't drink, we don't drink. It's so nice, you guys, when you are okay with you. Are you okay with you? Are you authentic with you? Are you authentic with everybody around you? I know when I was growing up, being authentic was like, shut, keep your mouth shut, keep the secrets, shh. And it never brought me happiness. I've never been a secret person. I've never been like, let's have a quiet contest. It's never been me. I know you guys are shocked by that. But I've always been like authentic about who I am. And I think that being sober as being part of my journey and accepting that, and my husband obviously accepts it too, and being able to be okay with that, you can voice to people around you like, hey, I don't drink. And they normally don't ask you. And so many places have non-alcoholic options today. It's crazy. We're definitely not alone these days, you guys. There's so many options for people so that they don't have to pick up a drink. They can just be like, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. And not feel ashamed. And that's the one thing I'm going to tell you guys. It has been, I'm really, really getting, we all, you guys all know that follow me all the time that I'm really into God these days. And I'm really trying to be very close to Mary and Jesus. And it has been a true game changer. I say at least probably 30 times a day, oh, Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything. And I say it 10 times in a row. And it just, when I do that, it's me letting go. It's not me going, oh my gosh, I want to figure out what's going to happen. I just let it go. So one other little thing I have to tell you guys, I have not been active recently. I pulled a disc in my thoracic back, which is in the center of my back. I had to have an epidural, which was really painful. I was awake for it. It was horrible. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. I can tell you that. It was terrible. Needless to say, I went back to working out. I could feel it starting to rev up, that little area in my back. And of course, I'm like, I'm not doing anything. So I haven't been doing much. I mean, I walk my dogs around the block, but that's not a big exercise. So when you get to Europe, everybody walks everywhere, right? We all walk, 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 walk. It's like 20,000 steps a day, if not more. So I'm walking 20,000 steps every day, and my legs start to kill me. I mean, kill me. And I was like, I need to get a massage. I need to get a massage. And I went in and I actually, the guy downstairs made an appointment for me. So we went over and I had a massage. And when I was in the massage, I had this feeling come over me. And it was like, Elizabeth, ask this young lady if she is Catholic. And I'm like, why is it asking me that question? Now, I will tell you that this adorable young woman said to me, she's from Colombia, Bogota, and I have a friend who's from Bogota, so we were talking about that. And then she said, my mom died a year ago. I've been here in Barcelona for a year and a half. I had to get out of Dodge. I'm studying here to get my master's in physical therapy. She was an amazing masseuse. And I said, oh, and she said, my mom died. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. To which she then said to me, she said, she's just here. She's kind of lost. And this thing inside of me is like, ask her if she's Catholic, ask her if she's Catholic, ask her if she's Catholic. And finally, I was like, are you Catholic? Now, again, she works literally steps away from the steps to the entrance of the Barcelona Cathedral. And there's another beautiful church here that's all for Mary. It's Santa Maria Church. It's beautiful. There's so many statues of Mary, and one is more beautiful than the next one. If you want to see pictures, reach out to me at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com. I'll send you some photos. But anyway, going back to the story. So I said, are you Catholic? And she goes, well, I was raised Catholic. Are you Catholic? And I said, yes, I was raised Catholic too. And I said, and I don't know why, you guys, but I felt like her mom was in the room. And I said, I just want you to know, Louisa, your mom is in the room with you. She wants you to know she's okay. And you're okay. You need to go back to church. You're okay. And with that, tears start falling from her face. And she just says, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. I know this isn't a coincidence. I needed to hear this. And I said, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And I got up and I hugged her so hard and I said, you're going to be okay. And she's crying. I don't know why, you guys, I had to do that, but I just felt it. I felt it inside of me that I had to say this to her. She's going to be okay. If you're listening to this, I hope you are. Just know you're going to be okay. I just felt it 110%. You're going to be okay. I know right now it's uncomfortable and you're so sad, but it's okay. And I told her about Medjugorje. And I hope you listened to the episode on Monday with Grace. Amazing person. Love her, love her, love her. I'm going to do something with her. I don't know what it's going to be, but we are definitely doing something together. But I told this young lady, I'm like, here you are in Barcelona. You are not far from Bosnia Herzegovina, Medjugorje. And I showed it to her. And I said, look, you can go to, you need to go to Medjugorje. Because it's in Medjugorje where I learned about heaven. We all think that we're going to be here forever. We're not. We are all going to die. It's just a matter of when. And I pray we all go to heaven. That's my prayer for everyone. I know that when I heard Ann Vucek tell that story about Mary coming down to the visionaries, I just knew that there was a heaven. I know now 110%, like right above us is heaven. It's right there. We aren't far from it. If we follow the Catholic Church, we follow the rules, like this life is going to be amazing. It's not that hard. And we all think that it's about the material stuff. And I had this wonderful woman reach out to me on Instagram. And she said, I just got Botox. And why are you so pretty? And why are you so happy? And I just watch all this stuff. And I go get Botox. And I go get this done. And I don't feel happy at all. And I think that being happy is not an outside job. I know from when I was getting sober, and my second sponsor said to me, Elizabeth, this is an inside job. And until I heard that, I didn't get what she was talking about. And it's so true. It's about the insides. life is not about the Botox and the lipstick. And yeah, do I like that stuff? Of course. I love to shop. All that stuff is important. I love that stuff. But does it define me? No, not at all. What defines me is my relationship with God and my fellow human beings walking on this planet. It's showing people grace and love. No judgment. No judgment. We all think it's judgment. This trip has been amazing. It will continue to be amazing. I'm here. I know I have one more podcast here, if not two. Let me look at my calendar. I think I'm going to be recording here in Europe again on the 10th. So I have one more next week. And then I have my husband coming on he is my guest for the 16th. And then that week I will come on by myself. I mean, I haven't been home talking about everything, but I just want you guys to know this. When you pack to go away, remember to be patient, kind, and just do a color. I've done everything on this trip in white and off-white. And I know that sounds crazy, but I have a tied stick, but everything works. It matches everything. The skirts, the tops, everything all go together. Wearing breathable clothing, everybody over here has been telling me that it gets crazier when we get closer to, it just gets crazier over here when it's in July and August and it's really hot. So just remember, pack light. If you guys have any plans to come over here, pack light. Realize that you just want to stay hydrated and take a time out. This is a vacation. Just because you're somewhere you've never been doesn't mean you have to see everything all the time. You're allowed to take breaks. You're allowed to sit around. You're allowed to do nothing. You're allowed to go to the pool. You're allowed to do all those things. Be kind to yourself. I want to say thank you for listening to me. Thank you for following my journey. Thank you, because travel is a gift. But the real gift is the present moment, the connections I make, the stillness while we're here, all of it. It stopped working, and now it's working again. Thank you, God. But all I wanted to say to you is thanks for listening. Keep watching me on social media. I will be back next week. If there's anything you want me to talk about, please email me at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com or DM me wherever you're watching wherever you are watching this. Please DM me and know this, you are not alone. And listen, hey, stay open, see what happens in life. And remember always, a grateful heart never wants to drink. A grateful heart doesn't want to self-sabotage. A grateful heart is all that you need. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. Please leave a comment. If you like it, please give me a score of better than 4.4 on Spotify. What the heck is that? I'm kind of bummed out about that. Anyway, it's been great. I'm enjoying everything. I hope you are too. Sending big hugs and love from Europe. Talk to you all soon. Bye. Thanks for listening to Conversations with Bizzy. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, if you could subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And follow me on all social media. And you can also get my newsletter every Friday morning into your inbox. Just go to elizabethchance.com and subscribe. Take care.